Very happy that this semester is starting and very excited about it. And I'm going to present you a summary of what we are going to do this semester during Physics 151. So this one will be lecture 01A, and then you will understand later why I'm telling that. And my name is Veronica Bindi, and I'm the instructor of this course. Together with Mike Nasir, you have heard his voice before. So for all the things related to office hours, in my case, please email me for an appointment or for the Zoom meeting. And for Mike, he will provide you some information later. So since you are all connected, I assume that you were able to see our Zoom meeting ID. And this is going to be the place where we are going to meet for everything, all the things that are going on online. We have synchronous lectures Monday and Friday from 9:30 to 10:30 on Zoom with me. And then we had additional material, which are asynchronous lecture materials. So videos, slides, practice problems. Let me go through all these things with you. So for the synchronous lectures, the one that we are doing right now, and we will do also Friday and next week from now on. So the attendance is not required. It's the first time that we do that. And last year, there were only asynchronous videos, but we find out that it might be useful for you to have something more. So some kind of face-to-face meeting with the teacher. So please, since the attendance is not required, if you miss class, you don't send me an email. I don't need to know. And this is because, as I said, 214 students. Our mailbox gets busy pretty soon. As I said, these lectures are intended to help you. They do not replace the asynchronous video lectures. Those are the official lectures of this course. So you always have to follow those lectures. And what we will do on Monday and Friday is to review the content of the videos and provide also immediate feedback to the students if you have it. This particular lecture of today will be recorded, and you will be able to find it together with the other lectures. So where are the video lectures located? We set up a YouTube channel, so you can go to this link, follow this link, and you are going to see something that looks like that with all the lectures here. I already included the one for this first week. I don't want to include all of them, so you don't get confused. Every week I will upload the lectures that you need to follow. And this is how one lecture will look like. So the voice will be the one of Mike Nasir, not mine, don't worry. So no problems with my accent. And here is going to be the topic of the lecture. So you're going to see lecture 1B, because as you will see, sometimes we have multiple lectures for like part A and part B for this one. And while lecture 1A is the recording I'm doing right now, and 1B is this one. So here you see all the topics that are going to be covered. The textbook section is also indicated. You can see here, I don't know if you are able to see my pointer, maybe not, and I will get more skilled in the future with this type of things. But so you see this one in sort of orange, all the textbook sections where it's covered this particular topic. And then we have the related materials, which is a tutorial number 1 and homework. Here you see number 2. But normally we try to make everything, the lecture number, the tutorial number, and the online homework number the same, so that you don't get confused.
Can I re-emphasize that, Veronica?
Yes.
So lecture number 3 relates to the tutorial sample problems number 3. And those are the topics that are covered on Mastering Physics Online Homework number 3. So number 3 goes with number 3, which goes with number 3. The only reason some things are split into A and B, or sometimes you'll see the videos are divided into part 1, part 2, part 3, is just otherwise the videos are just way too long. So we just wanted to chop the videos up and chop the material up into smaller chunks. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. So then you have Laulima, right? So Laulima, this is how it will look like when you get in. So you have the overview, announcement. I've already sent a couple of announcements. And if you click lessons, essentially what you get, you're going to have the link to the same YouTube channel. And then here I want to discuss about resources. So the resources, you see lecture slides and you see tutorials and solutions. So the lecture slides, the videos are associated with the slides that you will see during the video. Mics go through these slides, and they are, all the PDFs are contained here, and the tutorials and solution instead are contained here. And then all the other resources like the course syllabus, the calendar, they are also going to be here, and we upload them when we have new things or when we make any changes. So for technical questions about Laulima, please, you need to ask to the help desk, because we are only users, and so we cannot, it's limited, the type of help that we can provide you. So here, when you get inside the resources, you will see the lecture slides. So I already included the lecture slides that you need to follow for this week. You see them here. And here we have the tutorial and solutions for this week. So in addition to this, we also have a reading assignment. As you saw, is even written in the slides what you need to do. And then we also provide the calendar. I don't know if you have the chance to see it or not, but I'll go through it later on. So in this calendar, what essentially see is the date, like this today. We are going to do lecture 1. You should see lecture 1 asynchronous videos. And here you have written on the right the reading assignment. So the book is Young and Adams College Physics, the 11th edition. And I believe you have already you already have that. So as for every, I mean, I don't think it's the first time you do math and physics. So as any type of math and physics book, is not like a novel. So you really go and study specifically the chapter that are indicated and that we are going to cover. And so here, for example, we indicate with different type what you need to study and what is read-only. So when you see the section topics in italics and in brackets, this means that you need to familiarize qualitatively with the concept and the terminologies, but there are no formula required or numerical problems. But we just think that is a good addition for you to be able to then focus on what instead you need to study, which is just written in regular type. Like, for example, now you have as assignment chapter 0, which is a math review. And it's not going to be covered during this lecture. So it's a self-review that we assume that you are going to do, because we are going to assume that you know all the things that are described there.
We have practice.
Yes.
I'll just add, we have there is a practice assignment not worth credit with just math practice problems that's in Mastering Physics. So you could try that, as many or as few of those questions as you want to review your math. I just want to emphasize that I really encourage you to look through chapter 0 of our textbook and make sure you understand all of the mathematics that's in there. Powers of 10, logarithms, basic trigonometry, there's a review of geometry, things like that. So all of that is assumed math before coming into the course. We're not going to review it here, but we're going to use it going forward. So great. If that's all solid for you, carry on. No need to do any of those problems. If it's not solid, if you took trigonometry 5 or 10 years ago, if it's kind of shaky, please try all those problems, and you can see me or our learning assistants with questions about how to do that stuff. Thank you.
Good. Then for the online homework is in mastering in physics. So it's very important that you do that because it's 25% of the final grade. So it will be assigned the week before, and then it's going to be due every time on Fridays at 11:55 p.m. Apart from once that is going to be a holiday, so we give some extra time, and in the calendar will be indicated when the homework is due. But anyway, consider that every Fridays at 11:55 p.m. you need to provide the homework. If you don't do it by the time, you will receive 0 credit. So we are not going to assign any makeup homework. And you have some points for each problem. So each problem might have a different point associated with, depending on the difficulty and stuff like that. So that normally goes from 20 to 60 points, and all the homework points will be added to form a grand total of the entire semester. And therefore, so the individual homework points weight equally in your online homework total, okay? So the individual homework assignment essentially do not matter. There are going to be multiple choice questions. And in this case, when there are multiple choice questions, you have fractional penalty for every wrong answer and decrease to 0 credit when only one choice remains. And also for the free response questions, where you have to put a numerical entry, you don't have any penalty for the first 10 wrong attempts, but after that, you don't get any credit for that question. And sometimes some assignment will contain more problems for extra credit, and those problems are labeled as such in mastering in physics. Or so for those few assignments, you will have a maximum possible score which is greater than 100%. So like we said for Laulima, also for mastering in physics are external platform. So if you have questions, we are regular user, so you need really to ask to their help desk. So here is how it will look like an homework in mastering physics. As we said before, the homework has the same number of the associated lectures. So homework 1 refers to the topic discussed on lecture 1. You are going to see something like this. You go to the assignments, and once you are inside the assignments, and later on we will do we will just
I'll demonstrate this
demo.
before we leave today. I'll demonstrate how to get to mastering physics. Great.
Yeah, and to Laulima. So we will do a bit demo. So here in assignments, what you see additional basic math review, not for credit, intro to using mastering physics, not for credit. So all the, and here you see the number 10 is math review chapter 0, not for credit. And number 3 again is online homework 1, math review chapter 0. And in this case, credit values are included. So here the math review is the one that Mike was referring
Actually,
before.
That's credit values. That's an error. I'm sorry, Veronica. That one doesn't exist. So this is this is an old screenshot. So the math review, everybody, math review is only for practice. And then online homework 1 to 2 and homework 3 are the first ones that are for credit.
Okay. Okay, yes. So this number 3 essentially is only for practice. Okay. And then, yes, you see homework 1 and 2 about scientific notations, significant figures. And then you see this one, homework number 3, position, displacement, velocity, speed. Those are the homework, for example, that are going to be assigned this week, this first week, like together with the slides and the videos. While yes, the math review is only for practice.
Could I just add one thing?
Of course.
As students will see on our calendar, those first homeworks 1 and 2 and homework 3 are not due until Friday the 21st. So this will be after your first recitation sections and plenty of time from now. But we actually recommend that you watch those videos and do those problems this week and at the early part of next week, right? So the due date is later than we want you to actually do those problems. That way you have enough time to seek assistance, to try and get help with them and any ones you're stuck on. The total amount of time required to do all of those problems that are due on Friday is something like 3 or 4 hours. So the idea is you will stretch this out over several days. And so please do not wait until the due date. Please do these well in advance of their due date. And we've changed our policy. If you're repeating this class from last semester, there is no credit for late work. So after 11:55 p.m. on Friday, then the wall comes down and that's it.
Yeah. And also I wanted to give you another suggestion, like every time you watch a video lecture, and then you probably want to get in the book and see a bit better all the formulas and all the things and the slides, right? So you need to read your assignment, and it's naturally to do the homework kind of right after, because you don't want to spend too much time in between, because then you are going to forget about those things. So every time you work on a lecture on a particular topic, is a good practice if you do the homework uh, before going to the next topic, so to the next lecture. That's why we also divided sometimes the homework, sometimes the homework. So then exams. So exams are 60% of the final grade. In this case, you are not going to need Zoom. The exams will be in Laulima under test and quizzes tab. And later we will show you where it is located. So we are going to have 4 midterm exams, which is a lot, but you have to see the positive side of it, which is you have to study less topics for each midterm. And then we have a final exam, which is cumulative test of all previous midterm material, and with the emphasis on the new material from the last few weeks of the course. So each of the exams will be worth the same weight. It doesn't matter if it's a midterm or if it's a final. And one lowest exam score will be automatically dropped for each student. So we are not going to give you a score based on 5 exams, but only on 4, which are going to be the one where you had the best score. And because of that, and not only for that, there are not going to be makeup exams. So if you miss an exam, that score of 0 is eligible to become your one drop exam score. Here are the dates where we selected, have been selected for the midterm. The midterm is going to be on Monday at the same time where we are going to have these classes. So obviously, when there is the midterm, we are not going to have this Zoom class. And here we defined what it should be in each midterm, but this, please keep in mind, might change and may varies if we get behind with the topics. So it might be slightly different, the topics.
Could I add something? Oh, I'm sorry,
Yes.
Veronica, are you done with this slide?
I'm done with this.
Okay, so someone put in the chat box that this final exam is the same time as Chem 272. I think Dr. Tias is wrong. His class meets at 10:30 Monday, Wednesday, Friday, correct? So his final exam should be on a different day than ours. Our class is at 9:30 Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So we should have different final exam days. His final exam should be on maybe Friday, May 13th? So I'll double check ours, but I think Dr. Tias made a mistake. And if you guys really think he's correct, then please email me later and well, tell you what, don't email me. There's 200 of you. Don't email me. I'll look into this and I'll contact Dr. Tias, okay? All right, everyone.
Yeah.
I think that's a mistake. So I want you guys to know that. Now, second, someone else asked, I'm an athlete. What should I do for weeks that I'm on trips? All right, our policy is no makeup midterms, period. Okay, and preferably no makeup final either because we drop the one lowest exam. So if you're a really frequent A team athlete, A squad, and you have like 5 trips and you're going to miss multiple midterms, please email us individually with your situation and we'll see what we can do. Okay, we'll figure out something custom in your particular case. But otherwise, if you miss one exam for any reason, illness, travel, family emergency, oversleeping, those don't matter. Excused versus unexcused does not matter to us. That becomes your one dropped exam. It's automatically dropped for everyone. Great, thanks.
Yes, in no makeup exams in any circumstances is written there, clear and loud. So then, okay, the exams, I mean, we will discuss about these things when we get closer to the exam, of course. So I'll just go very briefly, just to give you an idea. So there will be under test and quizzes tabs, and they should appear in Laulima 10-15 minutes before each exam official start time. So you're going to have, every time you start, you are going to have a countdown clock in Laulima, which is 50 minutes for the midterms and 120 minutes for the final. And it doesn't matter if you do other stuff in the meanwhile, the countdown is just going to do its job. And at the end of these minutes, your exams will be automatically self-submitted. And while if you want to submit your exam anytime before, of course, you are free to do it. Then the score and the correct answers should be viewable in Laulima approximately 1 day after each exams. The exams will be a mix of short conceptual questions and longer problems that require calculations. Some problems are multiple choice, while others will require numerical entry. And they are going to be about 20-35 questions in 50 minutes for the midterms, while they're going to be 40-60 in 120 minutes for the final. And each question vary in value, and the points will be indicated there. So you know the value of the questions that you are answering. All the exams, this is important, will be open book, open notes. You can use whatever you want during the time. Paper and electronics, doesn't matter if it's online or if you just took note. And of course, it is expected for you to use the calculator, so you will need to have the calculator ready for you. But of course, it's forbidden any communication with any humans or artificial intelligence system, so you cannot cheat, essentially. Then these are for the exams. Do you want to add anything, Mike? Otherwise, I'll go on.
No, I'd say
Okay.
this is just general good practice. Oh, I guess the one bit of advice, is this on this slide or the next one? To start building a summary sheet of formulas. Is that on the next slide, Veronica?
No, I remove it. I remove it that slide. Yes, I move it out. Okay. But you, right, so it's good if you say it. Yes.
That's the one bit of advice I would give everyone right now. Okay. Although our exams are open book, so you'll have access to all of our textbook, your class materials, everything, your former problems. They're only 50 minutes long, and there's more than 20 questions for you to answer. So there will not be time to hunt down and look up and read and digest most material during the test. So my strong advice to you is to start building a little short summary sheet that's about 1 page that just has the essential formulas, the essential concepts, and that would be a nice quick reference for you during your exams. And by the final exam, hopefully it'll be about 3 pages long or something, if you just keep adding to it throughout the semester. That's one of my, that's what I recommend. So you can start that, this week.
Yes, very good. And then we additionally have some non-credit problems that are really good for practice and preparation for the exams. So to get ready for the exams, you need to practice, right? So solving physics problems is a skill learned through repeated practice, similar to what you do for a sport, a musical instrument. So you need to practice as much as possible. So you need to watch the video lecture, study your reading assignment, perform your homework regularly, and then the exams are going because the exams are going to be also similar to your homework assignment. So you want to really make those to see what we are asking. And then you have to, of course, follow also the recitation problems. And later Mike will tell you what this is about. So, but if you still don't feel confident or have dubs on some topics, because some topics will be super easy for you and some other will be a bit more complicated. This is normal, it happens to everyone. So you just go and look at our tutorials and solution. So for each lecture, we have provided a tutorial with question and problems to solve. So first work on the tutorial and solve them to the best of your knowledge, and then look at the solution and check the results. And then also look at the book. As we said, if you are reading the books, most probable there will be problems which are different from the problems that we are going through in these classes. So do also these problems to get stronger in that particular topic. And then there are also the textbook. Also the textbook has a end of chapter problems where you have the good answer, the right answer at the end of in the appendix. So you know if you did a good job or not solving that particular problem. So here for the resources, I want to show you in the same, after the lecture slides, you are going to see here tutorials and solutions, which are there. And you are going to see that it's going to be 01 problems or 01 tutorial 01 solution. And this is how a tutorial look like. So there are going to be some questions for you to answer. This is tutorial number 1 that you are supposed to look within this week. And then here is the solutions. So it's just to show you quickly the fact that you have, you see the solution about the question A is at mid of the page. So they are very well described, these solutions. And so you can really understand a lot about it. So I encourage you to look at all the tutorials because like this, you can become more proficient in what you need to do. And so you're going to have a successful, very good score and pass this course successfully. So you're going to have, for the course grade, just let me give you a summary. So we are going to have 4 out of 5 exams with the 5 exams are the 4 midterms and the final exams. But as we said before, we are going to drop one of those. And so the 4 remaining one will count the 15% each. Then we have online homework percentage, which is 25%. And then the recitation problems is going to be 15%. So after that, the final letter grade is going to be associated with this table here. And in the syllabus, there is the formula for you to calculate your final course grade based on your score. So when you are approaching the final, you definitely want to know what is your grade and see what is your situation. And you can do that going in the syllabus and using the formula. And then I think for this part, I don't know if Mike has something to add, otherwise he can describe about the recitation session to all of us.
Sure. Yeah, I'll just cover this slide really quickly. So hi, everyone. What we're going to do is starting next week, week 2 of the semester, your Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday class time that you've signed up for is a recitation section. And the point of these is to get you started on a problem set that is designed to be done partly with the help of your classmates in the recitation section, and then you can finish it at home. And each of those problem sets will be due the following Monday. Okay, so there's a long runway there, right? You know, you can, and the problem sets we made available to everyone in the class at the same time as well. The idea is you don't need to start them as soon as they're available. You get started on them in your recitation section and then finish them sometime before the following Monday. You'll submit the answers to those problem sets in a Laulima form. So you don't need to write it out longhand or take photographs or scans. Some of the questions are multiple choice and some of them are numerical calculation. In that sense, it's a pretty good practice for the midterms and finals, which are also in the same Laulima sort of form, in the same format. In order to get credit, so just to follow the bullets on this page now, the third bullet, in order to get credit for that week's problem set, you do need to attend the recitation section for that week. Otherwise, if you don't attend your recitation section, or fourth bullet, if you don't do a makeup in one of the other recitation sections for that week, then I'm sorry, that problem set will be scored 0 for you, right? Even if you submit it in Laulima. So, and the you don't need to make advance arrangements to do a makeup. You can do a makeup earlier in the week or later in the week than the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday section you're signed up for. Just show up, and during each recitation section, it will be clear and obvious when the TA or LAs for that section are taking attendance. So just make sure that they know that you're visiting from a different section. All right. So someone asked, how do I know what recitation section I'm signed up for? Okay, so if you look in your class schedule in STAR registration, it should show Monday and Friday, right, at 9:30, but then it should show one additional weekly time each week on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, as well as a location. So 8 of our 12 recitation sections are in classrooms on campus, although this coming week, because of COVID, everybody will be on Zoom. And then 4 of the 12 will remain on Zoom for the entire semester. Okay. When are the problem sets posted or given to us? They will be posted in Laulima at the start around Tuesday morning of each week, and they're due for everybody in Laulima Monday, the following Monday. If you're in an in-person recitation, we'll also give you paper copies of the problem sets, because a lot of students like to work on them on paper. But otherwise, if you're on Zoom land, you'll have access to a PDF copy. And of course, they're in the Laulima tests and quizzes as well. So we're going to reveal them week by week as we go. They're not going to be all available at the start of the semester. Okay, that's it. I'm going to stop responding to the chat too much. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
okay. So let me just close 1 second. I opened the chat and it was in the middle of my screen. So, okay, last but not least, calendar. So this is the go-to guideline, because you see, it's overwhelming. We have so many different things in different locations. So I can understand that the beginning could be really a bit too much. So that's why we decided to do this calendar, which has everything you need to know, mostly, hopefully. So here you have the date, the assignment due, class sessions, videos, and the read assignment. So for today, we didn't put, okay, we already made a mistake. We didn't put the lecture review this morning, but here there is the lecture review going on. And then you have a lecture 1, which is the asynchronous video, which you should watch. And then here you have your reading assignment. Then we decided lecture 1, lecture 2, lecture 3 to split it in this way. So Monday, 1 lecture in the middle of the week and lecture 3 in the end of the week. But this is related to the fact that originally, when it was supposed to be in person, this is when the lecture were actually given. But in the reality for you, the good thing about having a synchronous lecture is that you can watch them whenever you want, and even multiple times if you want. And this is the beauty of it, right? So at the end of the day, it's up to you when you want to follow this lecture, but we really think that the right pace should be, all these 3 lectures in this, essentially in this week. And here this week, as Mike said, there are no recitation meetings. And
Veronica, I'll just chime in and say that the topics of lecture 1 and 2 are going to be review for almost all of you. If you're a science major, you already know about significant figures, powers of 10 notation, metric units, things like that. Okay. So my
Yes.
advice is glance at the slides first. If this is all review, don't even bother watching the video for those 2 lectures. Just go directly to the Mastering Physics Online homework, do the homework that's worth credit, get your credit. Lecture 3 begins actual physics. So there it should be stuff that may be at least partially new for you. So that's my advice. Okay, thanks.
Yeah. And maybe you want to watch, before doing the homework, you want to watch the tutorial, look at the tutorial and see if you are able to do those because sometimes, although you have done it in the past, but maybe it's required at a different level of knowledge. So it is good if you definitely review them before doing the homework when you get grades, right? So, but yeah, I agree that the video lecture might be a bit too long to watch it all for this type of things if you already know about them. And then, of course, next week we are going to have a holiday. Here. So yeah, on Friday, we are going to review the topics of this week. And if you have questions, we can review those questions. Then next week, we are going to have holiday on Monday. So it's going to be a different type of a week. But as you see, the homework assignment that we are going to assign this week is going to be due on January 21st, the first one. And here, as we were saying, so we are going to keep writing when the recitation is due. The recitation here, you have, for example, lecture 1 to 3, and the attendance, as you know, is required. Then we put it also lecture 4 asynchronous videos with the topic that is going to be covered. And then again, we go to the next Friday with the homework, the lecture review on Zoom in the morning, lecture 5 with a synchronous video and the topic that you need to study on the book, and so on. And so these things, you see that the first recitation problem set is due on Monday, January 24th, and so on. So you can follow pretty easily everything that needs to be done. And we have the first midterm on February 7th. And so at that point, we are not going to have, of course, that Monday, the lecture review, because you are going to be in Lau Lima doing your midterm. What is important to notice here is that the midterm will cover lecture, in this case, from 1 to 9. And so the assigned sections are chapter 1 and 2. And if you notice, on February 4th, the last homework is going to cover the same material that is going to be in the midterm. And also on February 7th, you have to provide the recitation problem set, which is also going to cover the material which is going to be in the midterm. So this is good for you. Like this, you can get prepared pretty well for the midterm. Then if you have some help that you need with physics, I will leave this to present to Mike, because he has more experience for these courses than me.
Hi, yeah, sure. So we have 7 undergraduate learning assistants who have either recently taken Physics 151, or some of them are physics and astrophysics majors. So they're going to be running our recitations, but also they will hold a schedule of like 20 plus drop-in Zoom hours for anyone who wants to just drop in with questions about homework or class-related problems. They're dedicated to just Physics 151, and they're familiar with everything we're doing in the class. So I strongly recommend them as your sort of first sort of option for getting help or tutoring. Beyond that, your physics lab TAs are graduate students, most of them in physics, and after their first priority is to assistance with lab questions, but after that, they can answer lecture questions if there's no one asking lab questions. There are free tutoring resources on campus. They've all been Zoom based, and I think they're probably going to continue to be that way. There's one in Sinclair Library called the Learning Assistance Center, and then there's one in, well, it was in the dorms in Hale Aloha, but now I think that's on Zoom as well. and that's the Housing Success Center. They all have physics tutoring as well. Everything that's on this page is free of charge. If you want to go hire an outside physics tutor yourself, that of course is another option.
Okay. And then as a last thing, I want to tell you that the Physics 151 lab is not related to this course, because I receive sometimes inquiries about that, but it's a different instructor and completely separated from this course. So if you have questions about the lab, you should really inquire, send those questions to the instructor of the lab. And then, of course, we have the syllabus. So the syllabus has been included in Laulima in the tab resources. And there you can find a more complete set of guidelines to be successful in this course. Tips for exams, tips in how to do your homework. So please keep it as a reference and read all of it. It's a long syllabus, but everything we put it in there is coming from questions that previous students asked or from the experience. So it's good that you read it, that you keep an eye on it. And if there are any changes, we are going to upload the new version of the syllabus. And that's pretty much it. So I think we can go on with the demo.
I think I'm going to oh, can I do it, Veronica,
yeah,
for the
yeah.
for Master of Physics? Great. Okay.
Let me stop sharing.
Okay, great. I'll go ahead and just take over. Hi, everyone. All right, so I'm logged in here as a sample student. And if I go to our Physics 151 group, a site within Laulima, you'll notice these are the tabs on the left-hand side. The Lessons tab has the link to the videos. The Resources tab has the links to everything else that Dr. Bindi showed you. And finally, how to get to Mastering Physics and our e-textbook. The first time you do it, you must do it through here, through the Laulima website. Okay, you cannot do it directly through the Mastering Physics website. All future visits, you can go directly through Mastering Physics because our course will be attached to your username. So let me show you what it's going to look like. Okay. So if you click on that name, Vital Source, blah, 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 IDAP, it's the most curious name, but we can't change it. All right, sorry, we're stuck with it. You'll see something like this. If you want to go directly to the textbook, just click Read Now. That's our textbook right there. And it'll launch our textbook in another window, and you can navigate through it using table of contents. It's basically HTML based. To get to Mastery Physics, you have to click Launch Courseware. The first time you do this, it'll ask you one or two more things like, I don't know. Well, all right. The first time you do this, you'll click, you do this first. You click this yellow button here, Open MyLab and Mastering. The first time you do that, it will, oops. All right, it popped open a new window. Let me try that again. See if it'll do it in this window. Good, okay. You will have to either log in with an existing Mastering ID that you have from a previous Pearson course, like Mastering Chemistry or Mastering Astronomy or something, or previous Mastering Physics, or you'll create a new one for free. Okay, so once you've created or entered your existing Mastering ID, all of a sudden then Physics 151 Spring 2022 will be linked in your Mastering ID. So when I log in as my sample student, these are the courses that are linked to my ID. So in the future, on all future visits, you'll see our course as a tile, just like that. Then you can click on our course as a tile, and this is the sort of splash page you'll see for our course as it comes up. Right? Notice it's very slow. So you depending on your internet connection and your computer, you might have to wait a few seconds, and that's normal. Okay. You can see here's our first two little practice assignments. Those are not worth any credit. I mean, I had to put a due date on them, but that due date doesn't mean anything. And then these are the first two assignments for credit. They're both due on Friday the 21st. Now, I just wanted to point out that for all future visits, one thing you can do is you can go directly to Mastering Physics. So it'll look like this. Okay. This is when you just go directly to Pearson and then you sign in using your existing Pearson ID. And after you put in your username and password, I'm already signed in. You'll see this My Courses tiles again, and then you can go directly to our homework and our ebook as well. Once you're in our course, I'll just point out also the ebook is also right here, Pearson eText, that's Young and Adams. And there's some other little like sample quizzes and things you can do in study area that are built by Pearson, not built by us. Okay. All right, great. I'm sorry, that sort of used up most of our time.
Awesome. No, I think this is it. Do
So
we?
people asked in the chat, I'm sorry, people asked in chat, do you need a course ID? No, you do not need to enter a course ID, or nor do you need to enter a long sort of passcode for your first entry. You have to enter through the through that vital source IDAP thing in Laulima. And that's how you get free paid access, right? You are all going to be charged $62 around February 2nd, right? Or thereabouts. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I see Zachary is asking physics 151 peer tutors have access to this Zoom
Yes.
meeting.
Yeah, all online recitations and all drop-in help hours will be at this same Zoom address. Correct. This is our one unified Zoom address for all Physics 151 activity. Okay, I guess we're out of time. Veronica, any last things you want to add before we wrap up?
Nothing. It's exciting.
All right, we'll see you all on Friday, same time, and great. See you then.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Veronica, if you can stick around, that'd be great.
Yes.
We'll wait till everyone leaves. Hey, remaining people, any questions for us?
I just had a quick question, if I could ask it real fast.
Yep.
About the schedule. I think my question was for today. It said the lecture asynchronous video was lecture 1, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So are we watching that before class, like for the review session that you have, Professor Bindi?
No, it's a good question, actually. I don't have any preferences. It depends on you, how your schedule look like. So if you can watch them before, it's also good. And I'm going to review them, and maybe you have questions already in mind. But the week where it's more, you have more work to do and you cannot do it, is going to be like an introduction of what the week is going to look like for you, you know? So it definitely depends on you. I don't want to put this pressure. Ideally, if you watch them before the review, it's probably easier for you, because like this, you can ask questions, you know, because you have already seen the videos. So, but I can understand that sometimes it's too much workload, and so yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So on Friday, we'll just be going over generally 1 through 3 then.
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, any other questions from anyone tuned in? Okay, Veronica, would you like to stop your recording now?
Yes.